For years, I felt like my own body was a prison. I woke up every single morning, never knowing what debilitating symptom I would face. Some days it felt like deep fatigue that just felt like gravity had doubled its pull on me. And other days it was this weird burning pain that just moved around my body, or brain fog so thick that I couldn't string a sentence together. My heart would just pound just when I would stand up. And then I'd have these waves of dizziness all through me. And I developed sensitivities to everything: food, mold, chemicals, smells, and even sounds. And my stomach was always in knots, and I felt completely wired and tired all at once. I was trapped by a long list of chronic symptoms that no doctor could figure out. And honestly, I was losing hope. And I had tried everything. Until one day I met a doctor, and that changed everything. He told me that the problem wasn't in my body, but in my brain, and that in order to heal, I would need to retrain my brain. And he gave me a single simple visualization exercise that turned my entire life around. And surprisingly, it was the key that helped me heal. And in this video, I'm going to share that exact exercise with you. So if you're watching this, you might know exactly what I'm talking about. You've probably been to all the specialists. You've had your blood work, MRIs, the endless tests, and every time the results come back normal, your doctor looks at you maybe with a little sympathy and says, "There's nothing wrong with you." And I heard those words more times than I can count. And each time it broke me a little more, because I knew something, deep down was wrong. I could feel it, the tingling in my hands, the shortness of breath, the dizziness that made just standing up feel like an impossible task. And my world just kept getting smaller and smaller. And I tried to avoid the triggers. I was constantly on edge, reacting to foods, chemicals, and stresses that never used to bother me. But, my friends and family, they tried, they were supportive, but they didn't really get it. And, how could they? Because on the outside, I looked fine. But on the inside, I was in a constant state of turmoil. But, I started to believe this was just my life. And it was a life of limitations and canceling plans, trying to, explain to people that, I couldn't show up and I had to cancel. And just a feeling of being completely stuck and abandoned by a medical system that had no answers. And I felt trapped in a body, and it felt like it was betraying me. I was grieving the life that I had and the person that I used to be. And, after years of this cycle and specialist and disappointment, I finally found a doctor who saw things differently. And I sat in his office, ready to go through my long list of symptoms, fully expecting the same blank stare, but he just listened. And when I finished, he didn't order another test. He said, "Your body isn't broken, it's just stuck in a state of protection." And he explained that when we go through a long periods of stress or threat, whether it's an illness or major life stress or trauma, our nervous system can get stuck on high alert. And our brain's alarm system can get stuck in the on position. So even though the original threat was gone, the brain keeps sending out these false alarm signals. And they can show up as physical symptoms like pain, fatigue, anxiety, digestive issues, sensitivities, and you name it. It wasn't that my body was failing, it was that my brain had learned to associate everyday normal things as if they were a threat. And it created these protective pathways that became the new default setting. He introduced me to the new concept of neuroplasticity. So you can think of your brain like a dense forest. And when you have the same thought over and over, for me it was I'm sick or I'm unsafe, you really do carve these deep, wide paths. And your brain just takes it automatically. So neuroplasticity is the brain's incredible ability to carve out new paths. And it can literally form new connections and rewire itself based on new experiences. So the doctor told me that we just had to consciously and consistently create new pathways of safety. And that's where this one exercise comes in. He told me to do it daily at a minimum of 10 minutes. And that exercise is visualization. And here's the exact exercise. And the key is not to just think it, but to truly feel it. Research shows that when you vividly imagine something, that your brain lights up as many as the same pathways as if you were literally doing it. And you're giving your nervous system a direct experience of safety, and that actually rewires it. So, close your eyes for a second and take one slow, deep breath in through your nose, and then just let it out. And then just picture yourself, doing something simple and peaceful. Don't pick something huge like climbing a mountain or anything, but you can maybe, imagine yourself sitting on a beach with the warm sun on your skin. Maybe it's walking through a quiet forest. For me, it was just sitting in my favorite chair, sipping on warm tea and watching the rain fall outside. But this is the most important part. Don't just see it, but be there. What do you see? Notice the colors and the little details. What do you feel? Feel the warmth of the teacup in your hands, the air on your skin, the softness of the chair. And then what do you hear? Is it the gentle sounds of the rain or the birds? And then what do you smell? Can you smell the earthy scent after the rain or the aroma of your tea? And what do you taste? Maybe it's the flavor of your drink or the salt in the sea air. And the more sensory detail you bring in, the more real it becomes to your brain. And this is what sends those powerful "you are safe" signals to your nervous system. And as you hold this vivid image, just notice what happens in your body and let your body feel the peace you're creating. You might notice the warmth spreading through your chest, your stomach unclenching, your breath getting a little bit steadier. And that's the feeling of your rest and repair system coming online. And just hang out with that feeling. So this is just really important that when you're used to feeling unwell, the brain is an expert at sounding the alarm. So as you do this, you might notice old familiar sensations pop up. Maybe a little bit of a tingling, a wave of fatigue, or a little bit of pain. First, don't panic. Just acknowledge it without fear. And just say to yourself, it's okay. It's just an old wiring. It's an old signal. And my nervous system is recalibrating. And, as long as your doctor, you've confirmed with your doctor that, that your labs have come back normal and you're safe, then, you're fine. Just relax and just know that, by rewiring in these safety pathways, the symptoms eventually can go away. And I did this every single day. And at first, not much happened, but over time, my body started to learn safety again. And I just kept at it consistently. Because really consistency is key, and it's everything with rewiring the brain. So every time I did it, no matter how imperfectly, was like, taking a new step down to a new path of safety. So after a couple of weeks, I started noticing shifts. My digestion improved. I could sleep through the night. My energy returned. And, I realized that my heart hadn't pounded in a day, and I was sleeping all through the night. So just these small wins built over time. And, over time visualization became my anchor. It was the place that I could go to show my nervous system what safety felt like. The more, my brain experienced that safety, the less it sent out the false alarms. So this isn't a magic pill, but it's retraining. And day by day, you're creating a new path, and those pathways will grow stronger and stronger. And, I realized that a huge part of my healing wasn't in some external procedure or a pill. It was inside me all along, and our bodies have this amazing ability to heal, and we just have to help create the right conditions for it. And as a primary condition for healing, it is safety. So yeah, visualization is a powerful one, and it's actually one of the 7 steps that I teach inside my program. So I love helping as many people as I can. So if you're feeling frustrated or stuck, I really want to encourage you just to watch all the videos. They're free on here. They're going to give you a deep understanding of how brain rewiring works and how healing actually happens. And yeah, for those that are looking for a little more guided support and you're tired of walking this path alone and you're ready for a strategic roadmap, then I invite you to learn more about our Recovery System program. This program is designed to help with conditions like chronic fatigue syndrome, POTS, mast cell activation syndrome, and even food and chemical sensitivities. And it provides a clear step-by-step system. It tells you exactly what to do each and every single day to help you understand, so that you don't feel lost. You're going to understand the science behind your symptoms, and equip you with the tools to finally break free from them for good. So yeah, go ahead and I'll put the link in the description. You can book your call. It's a free brain rewiring call, and we'll give you clear, actionable steps so that you know what to do each and every single day. So if you're ready for real, lasting change, just book your free call using the link in description. And I just want to thank you so much for watching. And yeah, put in the comments below what are some ideas that you're going to be visualizing. And I will see you in the next video.